Super Dave here with another Super Dave review. Super Dave here with another exciting Masters of the Universe Chronicles movie action figure, a big one, because this is Battle Cat. Just take a look at this awesome figure. Oh man, I have high hopes for this. Hope he's going to be as good as what I'm expecting. Seen some questionable reviews. I'm not sure, but we're going to see for ourselves here. Has that beautiful new Master of the Universe Chronicles type logo on the top part banner, and then on the lid, that varnished kind of black, grayish black. And then there's another image of Battle Cat, like he will be seen in the movie with the movie style helmet with the movie style Castle Grayskull featured in the background. And then here are some action figure shots themselves. Look at that, with He-Man riding him and looking stellar there. Really cool. You can see some of the battle ready poses he can get in there, is illustrated. And there's even a little write-up about Battle Cat. If you'd like to pause and read that now, you certainly can. But let's go ahead and break open this awesome Battle Cat from the movie. You can see how it wraps around here, just so neat. He's looking aggressive there. And we're going to see how he performs in our review of him over here in Eternia right now. And here is our Battle Cat broken free out of his chamber, his plastic prison and cardboard prison there. And here's He-Man at Man-at-Arms beside him. And I must say, just at a first glance, he is looking really stellar, and he's more of a slender cat than what we had with the Masterverse style. I don't know that he's any smaller, but he is definitely on a more of a slender scale. And I can tell that even with the saddle here. It's just more thin, and I'm hoping that's going to help He-Man ride him a little easier and set up there a little more smooth without it looking so, awkward. I like the color. The color is definitely better than what we got with Masterverse. I'm really liking the head. I'm trying to decide if the realism is there. I definitely feel like that they could have, for Chronicles anyway, given us a little bit more of a realism to this head. Somehow. I don't know if it's with the yellow paint or if it would be with the shape and the shading, but I guess they're thinking in terms of it being mostly helmeted. But you see mostly in the clips, the trailer and stuff, you really see, I would say, the unhelmeted version more than you do the helmeted version. Now, one of the cool things which comes over from Masterverse is he does have like the plastic clear coat glassy eye effect, like we started seeing with Merman and even with Zodak and a few others. And I think it was even in the Panther that we got from the Mattel creation. But just take a look at these eyes, how they follow you. They continue to look at you no matter where you go. Now, this was seen in like Merman a little bit, but nowhere as cool as what we're getting here. This actually happens here without any doubt. No matter what angle you look, even down, you're gonna be looked at. Battle Cat is looking at you. He's gonna look at you, and that, I think, is pretty cool. Yes, it is. He's looking at you no matter where you're at, and that is neat. Now, other than his helmet, there's no accessories. I mean, his helmet, of course, and his saddle But, you know, I'm not so sure on this helmet. Let me watch the movie before I make a call on it. You know, I'm so used to the original helmet. We'll do some comparisons in a minute. And then I didn't think I'd like the Revelation helmet from the Netflix series. And then it grew on me. And then I liked that one almost better than the original. But I'm not sure about that. This is almost the original helmet mixed with the 2000X helmet almost. But we get a little bit more helmet than 2000X got, but I don't know, it's just, it'll have to grow on me. But right now I'm looking more at what we see here. Now I will show you that it does do like what we saw in Panthro. You can see his teeth. Now watch closely. When you close his mouth, his teeth sink in. So that's cool. Now we have a Battle Cat that has his teeth just, you know, in relaxed mode. His head is in more of a relaxed mode. Now, unfortunately, though, you still have those ears back like he's angry and ready to attack, like he's, you know, snarling. But, you know, I guess there would have been no way for them to have done that. But, you know, the mouth is articulated and it looks really nice. You can see the teeth, like the little beard that's on the bottom of the jaw, similar to what we had with Filmation. See the upper teeth there really well, the tongue all, and even up in there it's just kind of shiny. He could definitely use a little bit of a matte coat finish on some things, but overall I'm thinking that this Battle Cat looks really good here. Alright, now let's test him with, of course, his helmet on, and then also see if we can get He-Man up there with no problem. Just look at that. I mean, no matter where you go, those eyes are following you. That is so wild. I like that, though. And there is our Battle Cat with He-Man on him. And yes, it does fit really nice. I think this is probably the best any He-Man has ever fit on a Battle Cat in the history of Mattel's action figures. Even going back to the vintage, and of course Masterverse as well didn't do a great job with it with their Battle Cat. It was just way too bulky, his back and saddle, and it just made his legs awkward. And these, you know, they actually clean a little bit closer. Looks really good, looks natural, looks more natural and feels better, and he stays on there good. The helmet clips on really well. You can still see the eyes here following you even underneath the helmet, and it's still looking really good. And yeah, everything just moves very well with this figure, and I like him a lot. He looks really good here. I think this is a excellent Battle Cat, and I'm excited to see him in action in the movie. And here he is raised up with He-Man riding him, looking really good here. And that isn't hard to achieve. You do have to use, you know, all of the articulation, even the tail, and even He-Man's weight to somewhat balance him out so that he doesn't fall forward, so that the head is looking, you know, frontwards. I've got the head tilted all the way down as far as I could get it, so that it would look like he, you know, so it don't look like Battle Cat's looking straight up. But in order to be able to get it that far back, or even that much forward without falling forward, that's as far forward as I could get the head or the body without it falling forward. But I used the weight of He-Man to achieve that, because the weight of He-Man kind of helps pull him back a little bit, so that he does, you know, if I was to remove He-Man right now, he would probably fall forward. So that, you know, all of it together helps. And of course you could use some propping mechanisms, but I don't have anything except for the tail and He-Man. There's nothing propping him or holding him up other than his own feet and tail there, and then the weight of He-Man kind of allowing him to be back some. So you can see how that is achieved. Now let's take a look at our Battle Cat's articulation. Alright, bringing our Battle Cat on in here so that we can look at his articulation. We want to see everything about this big boy, and he is just looking so good. So we're wanting to see everything about him here. You can see that he feels like he may be a little shorter in length. We'll measure him here in a minute. But let's go ahead and look at his articulation. He's going to be able to look up. I think I've got his head all the way up already. He's only going to be able to look up that much. And I do wish they would make it where these would shift up more. But yeah, that's as far up as he's going to look up. He's going to be able to, you have to kind of get this harness piece to go over top that plastic piece right there. There we go. Then shift it down, but he's going to be able to look down that much. He's also going to be able to kind of turn his head kind of that way, and then also that way, and turn his head like that, and also like this. So you're going to be able to get a good amount of freedom there with that head. Pretty good for a cat, for an animal, from what we've seen, especially in this scale. Going on to these legs, you're going to be able to move them out that far and in that far. They will technically go all the way around. Just the saddle is kind of hindering a little bit, but it will go back as far as you need it to, just even like that. You can see, so for some poses you're going to be able to get a good amount there. He swivels at this first joint, I would say the knee joint, goes all the way out there, bends till that much, bends down till about that much, and then has a ankle paw type articulation that'll go up all that way, and then completely tiptoes all that way, and also has a forward facing pin which allows for excellent rockers. You have pads, but they're not painted. I wish they had painted them like they did the classics Battle Cat, but the toenails are painted but the pads are not, but the molding is there, so that's pretty cool. And I showed you already, the mouth is fully articulated, so it'll close all the way, teeth recess up in there, and then they come out, and that part right there will go in and out. So that's pretty cool. All right, I mentioned also that this part right here of the head will turn, so it will turn that way and that way, so that adds a little bit more of movement than what we've seen on other Battle Cats that we've gotten. This is a little bit more in scale, or in line I should say, with the Panthro as far as articulation. Now the saddle's there, and I really don't want to remove it, but you see there's a break here and a break here, so you're going to be able to bend at both of those. And also, let's see, they don't really feel like they rotate. I don't want to break anything. They shift, but they don't really rotate. You're going to be able to get them to go out like that and in like that. So it's going to go out and in, up and down, kind of like that. And also left to right like that. But I don't feel a rotation there. As far as the back legs, they're going to spread out that far, go in that far. You're, of course, going to be able to go all the way with that quadricep muscle, the thigh muscle of the cat. And then as far as this first knee joint, it's real tight, but it will go out that far, and it will also go back about that far. And let's see if there's a rotation. Yep, and it rotates as well at that knee joint right there. It rotates. You can see the hinge right there. There it is. And then you have another knee joint that goes back about that far, then up about that far, and that also rotates. And then you have an ankle rocker. You're going to be able to go up with that paw ankle joint that far, go tiptoes all the way, and then of course get some forward facing pin rocker as well. You can see there how it does both directions. And of course all of these will work that way. And then the tail will go up tail will go down and it'll swivel all the way around. So you're going to be able to, and there's no bendy wire in this. I always wish that they would put us a bendy wire so we could even get more articulation from the tail. But it's stiff enough that, you know, like I said, it can hold his weight, help you prop him and stuff like that. So that's going to aid in some of that. The lines look pretty clean. There's some spots it looks like they just missed in the brushing. See, like right here. And even on the face, there's some spots. But overall, it looks pretty decent. And this saddle, I will say, it looks okay as far as the design. But because of the color of burgundy it is, it's just way too plain. I'm definitely going to have to hit this like I did with my Masterverse Battle Cat. I'm going to have to hit that with some wash of some sort. Put some little black highlighting in here and a wash on here. May even paint something like this gold or something back here. And paint these a little bit different color, burgundy or red. And just add some accents. Maybe silver here or gold on this loop. You see it has almost like a bib going around, a harness type bib going around here that helps keep the saddle on a little bit better. It still is able to be removed. You got a buckle here with 1, 2, 3, 4 holes. There's the peg in the third hole. Then you even have a buckle up in here too. So, you know, there's some things going on for this Battle Cat that we've not seen before, but there are definitely some positives. And, you know, I would love to see, because there's some talented people with paint, what maybe they could do with this face to make it look even more realistic as far as the paint work. But so far, the way it's designed as it is, it looks okay. I like it, but I don't know, I just wish there was just something a little bit more realistic about his face in some areas. But I really like overall this Battle Cat, and especially like the way He-Man is able to ride him good. That's cool. And now let's do some comparisons. And here is our Chronicles Battle Cat with movie He-Man, Chronicles He-Man. Beside the actual Masterverse Revelation Battle Cat, I do have a wash on that helmet and that saddle to give it some texture, because it almost looked very similar to this, just real plain, just real, you know, one dimension, one color. But yeah, I've added the color here to these to separate it, and added some black wash in some places just to give it some difference in color there. So I'm probably going to do the same thing here to this, but you can see really like the skin, or the fur rather, texture and color scheme here better than I liked this color scheme. This is a real shiny, less textured. I mean, it's textured, but it's less textured. You actually have more fur texture here, and it's not quite as shiny either, noticed. Now, the articulation is pretty much the same on this Battle Cat, with the exception of the head and neck. This one does have better articulation system in the head and neck than this one by far. And I just didn't like the face on this one. I thought this one looked just, I don't know, very weird. I definitely like the face on the new Battle Cat better than on this Battle Cat. So you can see, I think, you know, they did a lot better job. And they're not really that much different in size. I mean, yeah, this one is a little bit bigger, especially the saddle and the way his body is done. But this one's a little more slender, a little bit more streamlined, as I've said. So, but the size is not so out of scale that you could not put a Classics figure on here, a Masterverse figure on here, and even, you know, of course, your Chronicles figures on here. So it definitely works good, I think. And really, truly, this He-Man here also fits really good on this Battle Cat. It really looks good. He fits well. Maybe a little big, but you know, still looks good. To me, when I look at it from the side, it looks like he's right there in scale with it. And like I said, all the figures fit better on this saddle and the little bit narrower, more slender body of the cat compared to this big bulk. See how bulky that, how wide that is? I mean, just look at how far that comes out versus, and this He-Man definitely fits good on here, but just look at how much more slender that is. Whole lot more slender and a lot easier to fit action figures on there. So that was definitely an improvement as far as this Chronicles Battle Cat. All right, to do some measurements now, let's go ahead and measure this Battle Cat from nose to tail, and from his nose to the back of his tail. I don't have it raised all the way out, but you know, normal is, looks like 12 inches exactly, maybe just a hair more, maybe 12 and 1/4 going to the curve there. And so there is the measurements for our Chronicles Battle Cat. I'll move him back just a little bit and bring on in our Revelation / Masterverse Battle Cat. Put his tail out about the same amount here. Let's go ahead and measure him from nose to tail as well. And he is about 14, just about 14 inches, 13 3/4, but almost 14 inches. So you're looking at not quite 2 inches longer, and no reason to measure the width really per se, but I've already shared with you that the width is definitely different. There's definitely a more narrower, a little bit more slender version here with this Battle Cat versus our Masterverse Battle Cat. This helmet, even though it does snap on, it's very easy to pop off too, and you have to get it just right for it, or it shadows the eyes, which you can see. They're still following you. Yeah. But yeah, there is our measurements. Now, if you're a fan of the helmet that came with the Masterverse Battle Cat, let's see if it fits on here at all. Let me just kind of set it up there. It's definitely not going to clip on, but it looks like it could pretty much work. It's definitely kind of wide here in the face, but yeah, I mean, you could make it work. It's just going to look kind of big. It's going to look a little big on him, and we'll check out the classics here in just a minute when we compare the Chronicles with the Classics Battle Cat. Definitely not going to see the eyes that follow you, because this helmet had the eyes already put in there. And here is our Chronicles Battle Cat with our Movie Chronicles He-Man next to a Classics Battle Cat with a Classics He-Man. That's a Hordak MX head sculpt, an older one. I think that may have been the very first head sculpt I ever ordered from Hordak MX for my Classics. But yeah, I love that wind swept look of head on that one. But there is the Battle Cat, and as you notice, this green was very different. I used to love this shade of green, but now that I see it like beside this one, I really think I prefer this green over the green that I'm seeing here with the Battle Cat. Now, just so you know, I did sculpt this beard on the Battle Cat to make him look more like the Battle Cat from the Filmation, especially with the helmet on, because I wanted him to have that. But you know, like I said, especially with the helmet on. But this Battle Cat had a beautiful face sculpt, one of the best of any Battle Cat we've ever seen. But I think that this Battle Cat may have beat it out, but not with the texture and paint. See that line coming down here? You don't see that here on the Classics one, and there's just a more quality to the paint design and the mold design here compared to here. But I don't know, the ears laying back, very similar. Of course, they, you know, the Chronicles one definitely beat them out with the eyes, in my opinion. But yeah, I think he would have done better maybe with the black nose. I think he would have done better with more of a thick and textured paint job and fur on the face, because this looks really good. Looks really good, regardless of what you may think about my pitiful attempt at the beard, which I did years ago. But let's just see right quick. You know, this is definitely one of my favorite helmets because it looks like the Filmation. So let's see what it looks like. I know the color's all wrong, but let's see what it looks like. I may need both hands. Hold on a second. So yeah, the helmet definitely fits well on this Battle Cat. I'm not going to say it clips on as tight. It doesn't, but it fits. And you know, with a little tacky, you could definitely make that work. Now, that's going to definitely be a darker shade helmet than what you have here. But if you like that, you could definitely make that work and give your Chronicles Battle Cat that helmet if you had it. And I think it looks okay. I'm going to try to pick it up and see if it'll stay on. Alright, so there you have it. Fits really well on there. And it doesn't look too big. I think this Battle Cat is more in scale with the Classics Battle Cat. But it's looking good. Looking good. You could make that work. Especially if we put a dark wash on the saddle to make it blend in a little better. You could definitely make that work. No doubt. No doubt. Really cool. Would love it if somebody could 3D print this bad boy and get us one where we could paint it the color we want, and maybe even without the eyes, so that we could see the eyes of this Chronicles Battle Cat. I think that would be cool. But you can kind of see here, so I put them side by side. I'm going to remove this helmet. What you've got here. Yeah, definitely a little bit more in scale with this Battle Cat as far as the features. Now the articulation is definitely paramount with this dude compared to this dude, but as far as size and scale, looks pretty good. Now, I think that this Battle Cat Chronicles is still a little bit more narrow in the back and the width part, because as you can see here, if we look straight on, this He-Man has to really spread out his legs wide compared to this one. Looks like to me, or maybe it's just the articulation is better here with the double jointed knees being able to bend over. Maybe not, if, you know, I don't know. Let me see. We'll take him off right quick. Take a look at how narrow. Yeah, it's definitely thicker. Definitely thicker. I think it may be a little bit more defined and chiseled out and narrower than the Revelation Masterverse Battle Cat. But see, I mean, that fits fine if you did that. But you can definitely tell that this is narrower. And let's go ahead and put it to the test here with this He-Man. Yeah, I mean, their articulation was just limited to be able to make it look right. But yeah, it still works. Still works. You could put a Classics He-Man on this Battle Cat. Looking cool. And here's our Chronicles Battle Cat and He-Man next to our Bear by Mythic Legions, which is an awesome action figure. You can check out my review on him. There's Atlas riding him. And believe it or not, this bear really in girth and size is really bigger than this Battle Cat, but they definitely match up good here. Now, I will say that the bear has a lot more realism, and you can definitely see it's a premium action figure in both materials and, of course, cost too, compared to this Battle Cat. But hey, you know, it looks good, and you can definitely see, you know, some parallels going on here as far as size and in the height department. And but yeah, looks really cool, I think. So I just wanted to show you a comparison here. And thank you so much for joining us for this Super Dave review. It's been a blast taking a look at this new Chronicles Battle Cat, and I don't think he disappointed at all. I think he is really nice for this price point of $29.99. I think that it's a good, you know, mix of what we're used to with Battle Cat from Filmation and even the 2000X series, and what we've seen, you know, displayed even in Revelation, even though they went in a different direction as far as look, especially the helmet. I think that we still know what we're getting here. It's Battle Cat, and there's no doubt that it's Battle Cat, and he comes with some cool articulation and the neat eye effect that follows you as you move. It's so cool. And so, yeah. And another big thing, as we've said, is his rider, this case He-Man, fits on him so much easier and fits so much better than some of the figures we have gotten for Battle Cat in the past, or the ability to fit snugly on his back as a rider. And so loving it, loving it, loving it. And again, thank you. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Like this video if you've enjoyed it. Comment if you have something to share or say, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Here's some photos in the photo gallery. Be blessed.